we are going to talk about Baba today, Raila, in a way that most of you might not actually know. As we're sending Raila to go and rest, Baba, please rest. This is just for me to show the world how I see you. And just a quick story time, Your daughter here is a storyteller. So, I'm born, if you hear any noises, it's my environment. So we're going to continue with the story either way. Now, I'm pretty young, born 90s or 2000s, and imagine you're already hearing of a guy who has already been through torture, pain. I don't know, his family has been separated. It's a whole thing. And this is the same guy who's fighting for justice. I'm like, who is this guy? His name is Raila, but we know him as Baba down here. So let me tell you about him. Around 1945, when World War II has just ended, a baby is born around Maseno area over there, right? And this baby is called Raila, and he's born to a dad who's a freedom fighter and a mother who is a teacher. Now, the mother was called Mary, and that is Mary Juma, and the dad was called Jaramogi Odinga. Now, imagine you being born in such a home. Your dad is fighting for freedom. Your mom is busy telling you, do not just sit down and take nonsense. You get? Now, as per what you're hearing, Raila went to Miranda School, high school that is, and he was not the type to make so much noises. Raila was the type to sit down, and he always had a book with him. But he was those types of students who would always ask the teacher, with all due respect, sir, this one does not make sense. Those children, those students who are always questioning marking schemes. You're seated somewhere, you're thinking your marking scheme is right. And there's a student somewhere who's thinking, no, this one is not right. That was Baba for you. He was taught just not to take things like that, face value. Now, let's move forward to around 1962. Raila is 17 years old. He decides to go to East Germany to study. Imagine you're 17, you don't know the language, you don't know anything. You've been taken to another country, another continent to go and study. What was he going to study? Mechanical engineering. Baba is well studied. He goes there at around 1962, graduates at around 1970. And he comes back home. And you would think that is when Baba started politics. That's not when he started politics. He came and decided, I'm going to be a lecturer at UN. I'm going to teach people what I already know. He becomes a lecturer for a while, and then he becomes a deputy director. It grows now to become a deputy director at Kenya Bureau of Standards. I know. You might not really know that part. Imagine Baba was once a quality control guy. I'll call him quality control. Kenyans understand what I'm talking about. So if your weighing scale was somehow wrong, Baba was on to tell you, my friend, take it back. Even then, he was still fighting for fairness. Baba. Now it's the 70s. The country is now under Moi. People are scared. Newspapers are disappearing. Like, you could even be arrested for saying the president's name wrong. And Raila looks at the situation and says, I was not raised like this. This is not what's going to happen. He starts shaking hands under the table. Starts reforming people under the table. Under watchful eyes. And you know what? 1982 happens. There's a failed coup attempt. The attempt to take the president off the seat. And unfortunately, it fails. Do you know who goes down for this? Raila. They come arrest him. No trial, no waiting, no nothing. They take him, and 6 years, they kept him in Nyayo chambers. And as per what we read, we're hearing that there's a time he was flogged naked. There's a time they stepped on his genitals. We don't understand how bad it was. But it got to a point they knocked off his teeth. You've always wondered why Raila talks the way he talks. Like that. His teeth were knocked off when he was being tortured. And he says that the worst part of this was not even the torture. The worst part of this was not knowing what day it was. Imagine you staying in a place where you're being beaten simply because you're breathing. And his painful part was not knowing what day it was. You've been down there so long. And when they release him, you're thinking, you know what? This guy's gonna run away. Let him just go somewhere. If I was this guy's daughter, I'd tell him, Daddy, no, don't do this again. But no. Raila comes out and talks about reform, just to show you that his strength was not in his body, it was in his spirit. 6 years. You might be thinking, where was Raila's wife in all this? Mama Ida. The beautiful woman who they met around 70s, got married in 1973, I guess. This woman was an iron lady. I mean, they got married and they had Fidel, they had Rosemary, they had Raila Jr., they had Winnie. And whilst all this was happening, she was also being tortured on this other side outside. She was tortured because she just married a man who dared to speak. She was chased out of the house. But you know what? Ida said, me, I love this man. I will stay with this man. You all are not going to push me away. It's not going to happen. And if you can hear how Raila talks about Ida. When he talks about her, his voice softens. And anytime I've seen that, I've come to realize even lions need safe spaces. If Raila was Raila, Ida honestly was this man's heartbeat, to be honest. 1988, they released Baba, and you'd expect this man to run away from politics. He ran straight right into it. 1992, multi-party elections, you're thinking, this guy is done for. Baba said, watch me. Watch me. And from there, his campaigns, elections from there have just been like movies, like tears, joy, like you're on edge. It's like a thriller movie. It's something else. But that's how it's always been. But let's be honest, Baba's campaigns were a vibe. This guy, you'd see him jumping around. It's always been Baba, Baba, Baba. His campaigns were something else. In 2007, Baba died and he lost to Kibaki. The chaos that brought. We lost about 1,000 people because numbers were pretty tight and people thought this was Raila's. And that is when they brought in Kofi Annan to come and mediate because of the war that was going on in the country. And Baba sat, and that is where the Prime Minister thing came from. You remember? And in 2013, his autobiography book came out, The Flames of Freedom, I think. And it was kind of blocked by gatekeepers because they said that it had a lot of secrets and stuff like that. But it still did come out. And unfortunately, in 2015, Baba lost his son, that is Fidel. It really took a toll on him. It was so heavy, and he really knew that he had lost a son. It was a very heavy time for Ida and Baba, being that Fidel was gone. Baba waits 10 years to vie again, and when he vies, he loses it again to Uhuru, and this time he says no. He takes it to court, and the court, for the first time in history, nullifies a presidential election and asks for a re-election. Baba says no, this is not going to happen. People met at Uhuru Park. People came from abroad, multitudes of people. One president is being sworn in. On that other side, Raila is being sworn in at Uhuru Park. And for the first time in history, Raila holds a Bible and says, I, Raila Amolo Odinga. And the chaos, and people were arrested, people died. It was chaotic. And in March 9th, 2018, we see something very interesting. Raila shakes hands with Uhuru. They call it the handshake. Some people call it sellout. Some people call it what they called it. But what it showed me for once is that Raila chose peace over power, because that is the moment that would have divided Kenya into almost 2 to 3 parts. And I don't think we would have made it past that. And just the other day over here, Baba pulls another classic Baba move. He looks at Africa and then he says, you're next. He vies for the chairperson's seat in the AUC. Unfortunately, we lost it to Kigali, to the point that my aunties were just like, I hope Kigali is somewhere next to Mombasa, so Raila can have a bit of say. But let's talk about Raila now. Raila was not just all politics. Baba loved Gor Mahia. Baba loved Nyamcho. Baba loved dancing. 1 minute, Baba is quoting Mandela. Another minute, Baba is doing the dub with the rest of us. And honestly, my goodbye to Baba is, Baba, you're one person that has shown me that failure does not mean that you failed. It actually means that you cared enough to come again and try. And Baba, the son to Jaramogi and Mary, the husband to Ida, the father to Fidel, Raila Jr., Rosemary and Winnie, Baba leave the rest to the rest of us. Isetemo, you have shown us that strength is not only in the physical and it's in the spirit. None of us might be able to do what you did. But you did not lose. Baba onge race man and you lose. You didn't lose. Strength my senyo, so we will take over from there. Baba, may you rest in peace, and we love you so much. So much. Okanyal Kata Express. How much? And respect Mango Kwomi is just, we're talking to the world. We're just asking Baba to rest in peace. Bye-bye.